Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana, and we're here today with special guest, Dr. Richard London, who's here to share with us tools and solutions to live a life of abundance. Please note that the views and opinions of our guests are their own and do not reflect the show, the host, or the network. So, Dr. Richard London is known as a futurist and father of wisdom who knows what your future looks like and shares with you the tools and solutions to move forward every day with grace, confidence, and ease. His deep connection to spirit and proprietary energy system takes your natural and developed qualities to a superior level. So, welcome to the show, Dr. Richard London.
Thank you very much, Marianne. And I want to bless everybody who's going to be listening to the show. And I want to congratulate Marianne on the work that she's doing and that you are a treasure to the world.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Such an honor to have you here and just to talk about your life and the work that you do. I guess we should start from the beginning. Like when I understand at the age of 4, you were into the law of attraction. I mean, my goodness, how exciting is that?
So here's what happened. I selected my parents because of where they were going to live. So I lived as a child in a place where all the masters of the universe lived. They sat on park benches. They were the gurus of the gurus from all over the world. And it was really funny. I would sit on the same bench and they would tell me to go away. And then I would talk to them without words and say, "Do you know who I am?" Oh, and they go, "Oh, excuse me." Yes. So I was able to talk without words as long as I've been on planet Earth. So my parents were poor and not great parents. So God became my parent. So throughout my life, God has been my only mentor and my only parent. So at the age of 4 years old, I got tired of not eating. So I decided to practice the law of attraction. And it didn't exist on planet Earth at that time. It had existed in the past, but not in the contemporary world that we live. So 4 years old, little guy. First day, I wanted pennies. Second day, I wanted nickels. Third day, I wanted dimes. Fourth day, I wanted quarters. By the fifth day, my pockets were so filled with money, I could hardly move. So I said to God, I want to find white envelopes filled with paper money. So I would walk on the boardwalk. There's an envelope, $300, envelope $600, envelope $2,000, envelope $5,000. So this went on for many, many years successfully. So I took my money. I gave some money to my parents so we could eat well, and my sisters and I could eat well. The rest of the money went into investing in myself. By the age of 8, I was the richest 8-year-old in the world. I had 13 people working for me 7 days a week. And I worked at 8 years old 100 hours a week. How do you like that? That is one of the tips to being successful. You have to put in the action and the hours. How many hours do you work, Marianne?
A lot. I would have
A
to say
lot.
a lot.
Okay. So I've worked 100 plus. Actually, in one day, I do 2 years' work because I was one of those kids who was told, do not listen to your teachers. So a teacher would say, there's 24 hours in a day, 60 days in a minute. And I would say, no, you're wrong. Time is infinite. So I live in an infinite world. So I create as much time as I need in my life. So I was retired and I came out of retirement to educate humanity and save lives with real 21st century solution. And so in my life, I have built millions of 100% authentic humans. So there's a process called automate a life. And it's actually what it does. In order for your life to be automated, things have to be changed in a person's Akashic records. What is the Akashic records? It's God's book of life. It's the universal mind. The name Akashic records is the old name for this internet in the ethereal plane. So it's an actual internet in the ethereal plane, been there for billions and billions and billions of years. So if anyone has an interest in becoming fifth dimensional, things have to be changed in your Akashic records. Here's another thing that people don't know. Have you ever played puzzles in your life? Okay.
Yes.
Humans have 5,000 pieces of their own puzzle. Each person has a unique puzzle. So the majority of people could have as many as 2,000, 3,000 pieces of their puzzle not together. And the reason their life isn't functioning is because a puzzle is not complete until all the pieces are together, right? Yes. So if you have 5,000 pieces, and even if you had 300 pieces. So when I was given the ability from God to move people into fifth dimension, I was the first guinea pig. Now, I had everything that I want in my life: abundance, gratitude, joy, harmony, divine love, you name it. But I had 341 pieces of my puzzle not together. So as the guinea pig for this particular process, I put those together, and then my life took off in other dimensions. Like I'm the leading expert in longevity in the world, leading expert in narcissism in the world, you name it. Now, I didn't want to be the expert in those areas. But when you're fifth dimensional, you expand. And that's what you would expect, right, Marianne? Is to expand your humanness in your life here on planet Earth if you're fifth dimensional.
Yes, and I mean we're here to learn.
Now, do you know people that are fifth dimensional besides myself?
I do. I know one other person.
Okay. So actually, right now, people, now I'm much higher than fifth dimensional, but the humans can attain as much as ninth dimension in this particular world. Yes, ninth dimension. And believe it or not, in the new Earth, 60% of the population are women, 40% are men. So the future of this world is not with the masculine energy, it's with the feminine energy. Yeah. So the 60% of the new Earth, it's called the new Earth. So we're going through 3 cleansings: economic system, Mother Earth, and humans. These 3 areas are being cleansed. So throughout this talk, I'm going to share with people very, very powerful affirmations. So the first one is, I'm bigger than my problems. I'm bigger than life. I'm bigger than the best of me. Dr. Richard London. I'm bigger than my problems. I'm bigger than life. I'm bigger than the best of me. Dr. Richard London. So my affirmations have been programmed with the highest vibration that exists on planet Earth. Plus, I'm going to tell your listeners a big secret. Do you know what tapping is?
Yes, I do.
So I've been tapping for thousands of years. So every time I tap, it always comes true. And I'll give you an example that just happened because my wife never asked me to do this. So her favorite sister, she wanted to come and visit because I was going to the ocean. I go to the ocean a lot. And her sister is taking care of her children's grandmother who is ill. But she wanted to visit with my wife so she could really express herself. And so my wife asked me last Monday if I could do it. Not only she was supposed to arrive on Friday and spend Friday, Saturday, and leave Sunday. She arrived on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They had a wonderful time. And that was done by tapping. And I'm going to show people. So what I did was in my bed before sleeping, I tapped on my pillow. Her sister's name is Esther. So Esther is coming to our house. 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 So when you tap, you have to do it 9 times. Do you know that? 3 sets of 3, Marianne. Number 9 is the highest vibrating number. Another thing your listeners may not know, everything that exists on this planet, you, me, everything in our house, our cars, everything is about numbers. When you come in and select your parents, it's all about numbers. So if a person comes in October, they have specific numbers. If the numbers do not function correctly on planet Earth, their life can be difficult. So listeners, you either have a life that's difficult or a life that is easy. I'm going to give you another secret. There's only 2 energies that exist on this planet. That's yes and no. 99.9 tenths of the time, I always say yes. If you're saying no the majority of life, then you're living in the world of negativity. Did you know that, Marianne?
That I did know. Yes.
Yes. So there's only 2 energies, no and yes. It's pretty simple. So one of the secrets of life, never be in the middle. You're not going to move any place if you're in the middle. And your numbers have to work for you. Also, the highest vibrating word in the world, God and I created, it's called being a wellnessaire. WELLNESSAIRE. I created it with God many, many years ago. It has the highest vibration in the world. So everybody listening, you want to become a wellnessaire. Because as an example, the richest people in the world, they may have what humans call money or abundance, but they may not have happiness. They may not have joy. They may not have divine love. They may not have gratitude. They may not have wellness. When you become a wellnessaire, you have all those things. Isn't that wonderful? To have all those energies in your life. So for you listeners that are suffering with wellness problems, and the word wellness is a new word only in the last 20 years. When you look inside your body, you must see emerald green. Emerald green is the color of your personal wellness. Have you ever looked inside of your body, Marianne?
I have done pranic healing back in the day. So doing that energy type of work where you can visualize a color, I've done that. And it's pretty profound.
Yes. And so perfect health is only emerald green. It's never any other color. And it was really interesting. When I was a little boy, I used to tell everybody I liked emerald green. People used to say, you like money. I go, no. Emerald green is the color of perfect. At that time, the word was health. Now it's perfect wellness. And believe it or not, listeners, you can have perfect wellness in every area of life, with your husbands, with your wives. So this is a good time to share about love. There are 3 loves that exist on planet Earth. 2 of them are dysfunctional. One is a wellness. So when Marianne and I and everybody was born, we learned cultural love. That was love that was expressed by our parents, where they learned it from other people, their teachers, their grandparents, their parents, you name it. It doesn't function in the 21st century. Then there's unconditional love. We live in a world where lots of people believe in unconditional love, but then they have conditions. Love cannot have any conditions. The only love that's pure is divine love. Divine love, divine love. So you want to have divine love for your husbands, for your wives, for your children, for your friends, for Mother Earth, for everything that exists on planet Earth. You want divine love. You do not want unconditional love where you have conditions on your love. Yes. So, Marianne, what time do you generally go to sleep?
Usually around 10 or 11.
What time you wake up?
Usually 5 or 6.
Okay. Listeners, no one can become a wellness heir or be in wellness, perfect wellness, unless you have great routines. So the rule that God put on this earth was you go to sleep when it's dark, you wake up when it's light or before light, depending. So someday I wake up at 2:00 in the morning every day to start work. My clients are all over the world. So I go to sleep at 3:00 in the afternoon. Have you ever gone to sleep at 3:00 in the afternoon in your life, Marianne?
On rare occasions.
When you're sick or you're really tired, I'm sure.
Yes.
So everybody out in the world, you must sleep at least 8 or 9 hours. You must exercise, some kind of exercise. You must eat well, but not perfect. My wife is an international chef. I sent her to culinary school to become an international chef. She's an accountant first, a chef second. And that's because I wanted to eat great foods. So in this world, let me see, 60% of people on planet Earth suffer with depression, and it's walking depression. So I discovered that humans live in walking depression. And they live in walking depression because they have poor routines. Lots of people only sleep 5 or 6 hours. Now, when you get older, you wake up earlier and it's hard to sleep sometimes. I force myself to have great routines. And that's what you need to do. You have to have great routines. So the remote control of your life is not your brain. So, Marianne, do you think a lot during the day? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I never. So right now, listeners, I'm in the Akashic Records, and all the angels, all the ethereal beings, the beings of the seventh ray, the ascended masters are all in this program. And none of them ever think with their brain. The remote control of your life is your heart and soul. And that's what creates everything in your life. not your brain. So if your brain is filled with thoughts, how can you receive God's messages? Does that make sense, Marianne?
It does make sense. You often hear about having to empty the brain, even from the Buddhist standpoint.
Right. And I was Buddha's teacher. And so I never think about anything. My life is controlled by my heart and soul, and it creates miracles. So if you're not creating miracles every day, that means you need help. So let me give your listeners an example of real miracles. I've created over 50,000 miracles in my life and create miracles every day. So my wife and I were standing in front of a store that I have never entered in my entire life in any place in this world. And I said to my wife that I want to buy things for 80% discount. We walked, within seconds, we walked in the store. This man walked up to the section where I was at, and it was men's clothing. And he said, everything in the section is 80% discount. Nothing is marked. Just go to the counter and they will give you a discount. So that wasn't an accident. I created it. Another example, my wife and I were in front of a department store, and I said to her, I want to buy something 90% discount, or they pay me to buy it. So have you ever gone into a store and they paid you to buy something? No. It's a crazy statement, right? But in a world that I live in, it's not a crazy statement. My wife went to look at shoes. I went to the men's department. I needed a new shaver. There was a shaver that had a price of $300. The person put it into the barcode into the computer. He says, oh, your price is $30. So it was exactly 90% discount. And they paid me $270 to buy a $300 item, which I only paid $30. So this happens every day of my life. By the way, listeners, as a hobby for my entire life, since a child, I've been one of the greatest treasure hunters in the world, and I have found over 200 million in treasures in my lifetime. And buying things for $1. So I'm going to share with your listeners. So one morning, I went to an estate sale, and they had a table filled with things. So my eye focused on a box. It was a Mont Blanc pen. They're one of the finest pens that exist on planet Earth. And the man expressed to me, this is one of the finest pens that exist. Now, I didn't see the pen because it was in the box. So he knew it was a fine pen. I asked him the price. Guess what he said, Marianne? $1.
Oh, wow.
So I've bought thousands of things for $1. So that's God and I creating. Imagine. So I just took the dollar out. I gave him the dollar, went to the car, and it was a gold ebony pen valued at over $1,000. I have bought things for $1 that are been worth $100,000. Or boxes filled with diamonds and jewelry for $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. This is not accident. So I want to teach your listeners something important. The majority of people on planet Earth are not living a real life. You're living a life based on your childhood and adult experiences. So if you were abused, your life becomes about abuse. If you didn't get love, your life becomes about you desiring love. Where I created a program that moves people from an unreal life to a real life. So a real life is created by you and what is called the energy of God. And you understand, Marianne, God is an energy. It's a high vibrational energy. And you want to be able to connect with that energy and create the life that you desire. So I'm going to ask you a question. In your life, have you had struggles?
Of course.
Okay. And right now, where you are, from 0 to 100%, what percent is your life the way that you really desire?
I'd have to say 85.
Okay. So my entire life has been 100% plus the way that I desire. Imagine being 8 years old and being very, very rich. And I shared my money with my parents. In fact, I hid my money underneath the stove, the refrigerator, in the bathroom, in the toilet, you name it. My parents always found it and they took my money. Yes. And they were very happy that I was an ambitious young man. Yeah. They did not have the right to take somebody's wealth. So that leads to the next important thing. You cannot move forward in this life unless you have integrity and honesty at 100%. If someone gives you a penny that's not yours, if you have to walk 10 miles, you return that penny. Yes. Empirical integrity, empirical honesty, and doing the correct actions must be at 100% daily. When you're married or you have a partner in life, you have to do things you don't want to do sometimes. But if it's going to benefit all parties, remember, always do the correct action. Every day of my life, I do the correct action, even if I don't want to do it. Yeah. We're not supposed to do things that other people want us to do unless it's the correct thing to do. Does that make sense, Marianne?
It does. Yeah, that does make sense.
So God is in integrity 100%. God is 100% honest. God always does the correct action. So I teach people how to move into their 100% soul's authenticity. See, if your soul is authentic, then you're 100% authentic. You cannot be authentic unless your soul's authentic. I'm going to share another powerful message with everybody. When you choose great people in your life, you are a wise person. When you choose great people in your life, you are a wise person, Dr. Richard London. When you choose great people in your life, you are a wise person. That makes sense, right? Yeah. My life has been filled with great people. So if your life isn't filled with great people, start working on bringing great people into your life. Spiritual people. Yes. Real spiritual people do not kill people. They don't rob people. They don't steal from people. They don't lie. Yeah. See, you want to live a real life, a life that you create. Do you see the difference between an unreal life and a real life? A real life is a life that you create with your heart and soul. An unreal life is about your past experiences and about your pain. Do you know the three major lessons people come into when they're born on planet Earth, Marianne?
I do not.
Okay, number one is abandonment. The majority of people on planet Earth are abandoned by the parents, by the husbands, by the wives, by the boyfriends, the girlfriends, abandoned by people at work, you name it. The second is the love issue. People want to be loved. Yeah. And the third is the financial issue, the ability to create consistent wealth in your life on a daily basis and to truly be abundant. You know, if you want abundance, you will never receive abundance if you use the word money. Yeah. Even the richest people in the world, they're creating abundance. They're not really creating money. Yeah. You don't want to create money in your life. You want to create abundance, wealth. Doesn't the word wealth sound great? Wealth. Yes. So I've always created great abundance in my life. So have you ever had anyone on the show talked about investing in gold?
I have not, but I'm
Okay.
curious to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay. So many, many years ago, when all the supposed experts were talking about buying gold, you know what I did? I bought a gold mine. How do you like that? My gold mine was underwater. It was cleaned. And now I have many gold mines, and they are owned by my foundation. All the monies go to charity. We optimize the mining, and they have a 500-year shelf life. So 50 years is considered a generation. These mines will produce monies to help people on planet Earth for the next 10 generations. So if you're going to invest in gold right now, you have to be able to buy gold at the best price. Hopefully, there are ways to buy gold at less than its value. So gold and silver will go sky high in the future because we're moving out of the paper world into hard assets. Gold and silver will be two hard assets. So do you see what kind of action I take? I take big action. Instead of investing in gold and paying $1,000 plus an ounce, I bought a gold mine with other people. And we give the majority of money to poor people around the world, to children who need food, computers, clothing, medical care, you name it. And guess what has happened? It's prospered, and prospered. Yes. So think supersize. One of my favorite words is supersize your life forever. Supersize your life forever. Supersize your life forever. Supersize your life forever. You want to supersize your life. Yeah. Why just live a little life? And I'm still supersizing my life. Yep. Even though it's super right now, but it gets bigger and bigger. Yes. So you want abundance, you want balance, you want gratitude, you want harmony, you want divine love, you want youth at 101. So what I did is I looked at all the steps people take in their lives. So my parents, my mother lived to 78, my father to 82. When they died, their body would not sustain them. They smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. They looked 200 years old. So since a child, I was always interested in youth. And I looked at people all over the world. There are people 100 plus. Believe it or not, I know a lady, she's 118 years old. How do you like that? And she works every day at 118. And she's a lovely person, but she looks 118. She's looked like she's had a life difficult, and I'm sure she has. And I says, why should a person become 60, 70, 80, 90 years old and not look youthful? So I was telling Marianne before the show, I have not one wrinkle, and I was a sun person. So there are secrets to be youthful. Even at 101 years old, no wrinkles. You can have a firm body and so forth. And it doesn't take a lot of energy. It just takes action. And you can have wealth beyond your dreams and wellness in every area of your body. I have websites like educationdigest.org, richardlondon.com, and many others. So I have the leading websites, hundreds of them, that educate people in the world. Have you ever heard of QEnergyForce.com, Marianne?
I have not.
Okay, so it's an interesting story. A friend of mine who's a shaman. So listeners out there, a shaman is a person who may have spiritual divine powers to heal people. So he lives in Europe. And when he was living in Mexico, where he was born, a family came to him and they had a young boy, 9 years old, who was blind. And he was blind from birth with no possibility of being a person of sight. God, the universe, told him that he could do something that could bring sight to him. So he started with quantum energy, Mayan energy, and all the energies and forces that exist on planet Earth. He put it together, and guess what? The young man, who's in his 20s now, has perfect sight. Now, that's a miracle, right, Marianne?
I would consider that a miracle, yes.
Yes. So what I suggested to him is we take all those energy, Mayan energy, quantum energy, all the greatest energies, divine energy that exists on planet Earth, and put it into a device. It's a small device that you wear, and it goes at the point of your first chakra, and it binds with you. It has 27 benefits. Stimulates circulation, protects against 5G energy and electrocontamination, helps to keep your 7 chakras open, improves the optimization of the 9 chambers of the heart. So your heart has 9 chambers. You have 3 secret chambers that nobody ever knew about, and I discovered with God. So what I did is I took past presidents and I looked at their optimization of the 9 chambers of the heart. Most of them hearts chambers only function at 7 to 13%. So imagine if your heart has 9 chambers and they're only functioning at 7 to 13%, they're not functioning well. Your 9 chambers of your heart need to function at 100%, and then you're functioning, because we are heart and soul based human beings. Yes. So this device recovers your vital force, stimulates your bioenergetic flow, improves abundance and wealth, improves personal and professional power. So you could go to QEnergyForce.com and read the benefits. So I was the first person to use the device. And then in my office, which I'm sitting in right now, I gave a device to my wife. Within 15 minutes, She was clearer. She had more energy, more focus. She has moved to a higher dimension. So my wife spends her private time studying spirituality, and she's moving into the fifth dimension with my help and with the help of the Q Energy Force device. So I wanted there to be a device when I decide to leave planet Earth. I want there to be something that can move people powerfully through their lives. The device is made in Europe. It is custom to each person. We only make 100 devices a year. We do not sell our device to people in certain countries where they would like, so they cannot duplicate the software, but they could duplicate the design in other countries. It costs us more money to have it made in Europe, but the European engineers do great work. So it's not made in China or any other country. And it does work. So I actually program it individually for each person for special needs. So if you're a wellness healer, it's programmed for you to function at a higher level if you're a wellness person. So I actually put the energy of what's known as God into the software. So it has improved people's immune system, increased their healing process, you name it, it just goes on. Improves your balance, helps you control your life.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with Dr. Richard London. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Dr. Richard London, who has 25 years of experience being known as the Man of Steel with the Heart of Velvet, presents the Life Wellness System, The Road to Yes, a mentoring system that brings you to becoming a wellness heir. Imagine having wealth, wellness, love, peace, and spirituality in abundance and balance now. Visit doctorateoflife.com or call 720-213-8021 for a free 15-minute wellness evaluation.
Hi, this is Jana Wilson, author of Wise Little One, Learning to Love and Listen to My Inner Child, a best-selling prescriptive memoir in inner child healing. I'm also the founder of the Emotional Healing System. The inner child, simply put, is your feelings, both positive and negative. If you'd like to learn to love and listen to your wise little one, pick up my book at Amazon or visit my website at janawilson.com. It's never too late to have a happy childhood.
The first thing you need to know about me is that I love my kids, but they are not my everything. They used to be, but that's when my entire life fell apart. In order to pick back up the pieces, I had to put the love I have for myself before everything else, including my kids. I'm Jessica Dennehy, and I own multiple businesses. I'm a best-selling author, and I have all the strategies that I've used to make my life what it is today. And I'm going to teach you how to do them in my new book, Selfish is a Superpower. So go get your copy today on Barnes & Noble or jessicadennehy.com.
Announcing a revolutionary tool for wellness. Scalar Light has the ability to enhance and harmonize your own bioenergies. With Scalar Light, you can get started in just minutes and begin feeling better the very next day. Scalar Light is a remote energy that gently and subtly works with your own body's bioenergies, increases pro-cellular wellness, and enhances your body's immunity.
Experience the benefits of Scalar Light. Try a complimentary 15-day experience at scalarlight.com.
In your hands lie ancestral patterns. These patterns shape how you think, what you struggle with, and experiences you love, your life pattern. We're going into the latest neuroscience of biological hand analysis, a realm beyond palmistry where science and the soul entwine. Hand analysis is the latest method to transform lifelong patterns. I am Master Hand Analyst Brent Bruning. Join us and visit thepowerinyourhands.com.
Looking for a page turner? Cozy up to a fantasy adventure romance trilogy with The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper by Mary Kay Savarese. The second novel in the Star Writers trilogy, The Star Writers Club, is coming soon. Take the journey. Connect with Mary at www.maryksavarese.com. Her books are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all indie bookstores.
Pandemonium. Fast forward 20 years. A U.S. president seizes control of all U.S. missiles, the power grid, the banking system, and every computer in America as he hides in an underground bunker. Pandemonium, a captivating sci-fi thriller where a hidden war, psychics, aliens, artificial intelligence, and transcendental love collide with the latest media technology. Pandemonium, live to all devices. Get your copy on paperback or digital. Free sample at getpsychic.org.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with our special guest, Dr. Richard London. So, before I left for break, you said that you had something special you wanted to share with us.
I'm going to ask you a big question. In your life, at different times, there's been a lot of drama.
I've had that before, yes.
Okay. Drama in my life. Yes. Drama is extremely deadly. The more drama you have in your life, the less apt you're going to live a good life. Plus, drama creates a lot of stress. Have you had stress in your life?
I would say so. That's without a doubt.
Okay. Listeners out there, when you're moving towards fifth dimension, you don't have stress in your life. So let me give you vibrationally what fifth dimension looks like. So the majority of people walking the world vibrate about 80 to 120. That's first dimensional humans. Second dimensional humans vibrate from 121 to maybe 320. Third dimensional people can vibrate from 320 to maybe 699. Special people, maybe 999. Fifth dimensional people start their vibration at 50,000. How do you like that, Marianne? So would you like to vibrate at 250 or 50,000?
Well, I think everyone would want to vibrate at the higher level.
Yes. So the experts in the world said when you reached 1,000 vibration, you were living in nirvana. That was a lie. Normal angels in the heavens, they start vibrating at 50,000. So you would be vibrating like an angel at 50,000. And that's great. That's fabulous. I'm going to share another great affirmation. Believing makes life easy. Believing makes life easy. Believing makes life easy. So my faith and my believing is empirical. Do you know the word empirical, Marianne?
Well, why don't you share that for our listeners?
Okay. The word empirical is used by scientists. When they do an experiment and the experiment turns out to be correct, they will state that they used empirical science to get this particular result. in the world of spirituality, if you don't believe empirically, that means you really don't believe. Because with faith, it has to be 100% and 100% of the time. So I've been believing empirically as long as my energies ever existed. And let me explain even further. So faith is never doubting. In your life, have you ever doubted faith in your life, Marianne?
I could say I have, yes.
Yeah. Listeners, wouldn't it be wonderful to have 100% empirical faith in every area of your life? I have never, ever doubted in this lifetime anything. And see, when you don't doubt things, guess what? You take really great action in your life. And that great action produces everything that you would like. So, Marianne, what has been your greatest struggle in this lifetime of the 3 lessons? 1 being abandonment, 2 being finding true love, and the 3rd, the financial lesson.
I'd say abandonment.
Okay, that's a good one to talk about. No one has ever really been abandoned. How can you be abandoned if you have faith and divine love and if God loves you? Now, in a human sense, as an example, I was abandoned by my parents because they never expressed love. Do you imagine? I never went to the dentist. I never went to a doctor, even when I was sick. They just let me be sick. And that's when I realized at 4 years old that God was going to be my master teacher. Yes. So in a human sense, I was abandoned, but in a spiritual sense, I never felt abandoned because I sold newspapers as a little kid and had many people working for me. So I literally had hundreds of mothers, hundreds of fathers, and it was great. I loved all my clients. When I would see a client, I would run up to them and I would go, "It's good to see you. I like your dress. Your eyes are beautiful." Always divine compliments to people. So if you can't say anything nice, don't say it at all. Spend your life congratulating people. When I walk, even in Mexico or wherever I am in the world, I say hello to everyone. Hello. Hola. ¿Cómo está? To everybody. I speak 15 languages. Whenever I'm traveling the world, I'm talking to people. I'm getting to know people. This is part of life. So here's another big secret. Everyone on planet Earth, including you, Marianne, and every one of your listeners, you all have the same purpose, life purpose. And that's to share your wisdom with others. So every human being on planet Earth has one purpose, and that's to share your wisdom with others. But you can have secondary, tertiary purposes. Like I'm one of the greatest experts in longevity and narcissism, treasure hunter, you name it, it goes on and on. But everyone's looking for their purpose. And that purpose is to share their wisdom, whatever you're doing. I remember there was this young gentleman in his 20s, and he used to shine my shoes here in Mexico. And he shined shoes. So a person who shines shoes is called a bolero. 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 A bolero. He shined shoes with so much passion. Perfectly. My shoes were shined as perfect as it could be. It was fabulous. But you have to be able to recognize the beauty in every person. Please recognize the beauty in every person. It's really, really important. See, I created a package. It's called One Bright Unity Package. Life is about living abundantly to 101 plus. If you want to live 101 plus, there's only one way to do it. Yes. So this lady that I met who's 118, why did she live 118 years? One of the reasons is she had lots of children. She had 20 plus children. She had a great personality. People liked her. So she had a great community. She also has great faith. And she takes a lot of action in her life. So she's a rare person to live to 118 years. And she smoked in her life and she drank in her life, but she didn't smoke a lot. She didn't drink a lot. Yes. If you smoke or drink, do it in moderation. If you can get rid of smoking completely, do so. I think my parents smoked 300,000 packs of cigarettes in their life. Yeah, it was horrible. Sucks the life out of you. Another thing is, drama sucks the life out of you. Terrible words suck the life out of you. Yes. So you don't want anything to suck the life out of you. You want your life to be vibrant. Marianne, you have vibrance to you. You understand that?
Well, why don't you
Yes.
explain that a little bit more for me? I
Okay.
appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So vibrance is a certain level of energy that radiates from people's heart and soul. So the more you're connected, the more vibrance you have. So when I had my spiritual center of millions of people, on Saturdays and Sundays, I had to hug sometimes tens of thousands of people all day, just hugging people. I had to have a high level of vibrance. Can you imagine hugging 10,000 people in a day?
No, I cannot.
Yes. So the one thing about hugging, you never pat a person's back. That stops the vibrance. It stops the energy. So when you were selected to come to this planet Earth, everybody had guides. So as you were growing up, did you have angels and people that protected you, Marianne?
I would definitely say I did.
Okay. So here's what happened. Prior to December 22nd, 2012, there was to be two Earths, one a spiritual Earth and one a karmic Earth. In God's wisdom, God decided on one Earth and created heaven on earth. So what happened? Everybody's negative imprinted memory was placed in their soul on December 22nd, 2012. That's why many humans are suffering. So you never expected, and I never expected to see terrorists in the world, right? Do you know what a terrorist soul weighs? So a normal soul weighs 21 grams. A terrorist soul can weigh 500 grams. That 500 grams is filled with darkness. Yes. What would you rather have? 21 grams and have a perfect light soul or a perfect dark heavy soul? Perfect light soul. So that's one of the processes that I take people with. So the majority of people's souls weigh anywhere from 45 grams to 100 plus grams. So in each gram of your soul is 15,000 segments of your past life. So if your soul is perfectly light and 21 grams, that's 315,000 segments are in your soul. But imagine having 5 million dark segments. You wouldn't function correctly. That's why we have so much craziness in the world. People's souls are heavy. In my program, when I move people to 5D, I clean out all the negative imprinted memory. And people have a lot. I cleaned all of my wife's negative imprinted memory in her body, and she had a lot. Because, like you, Marianne, she suffered with abandonment. My wife grew up in an orphanage all of her life. In fact, she lived in the orphanage until she was, I think, 20 or 21 years old. And she was working then. She came back to the orphanage, and they had her bags packed. And they said, "You have to leave. How do you like that?" So
Wow.
they kicked her out of the orphanage, but she needed to be kicked out. Yeah. Fortunately enough, the people who lived next door liked her because my wife is a very genuine, loving person. So she ended up living right next door to the orphanage. So the world could be really complicated or it could be really easy. Every listener out there, you want to move into fifth dimensional. The majority of people in the world are first, second, third dimensional. You know what a serial killer is, right? You know what a dimension a serial killer is? 0 dimension. Yes, 0. That's why in our world, it's difficult to catch serial killers because they have no vibration. Imagine living on Earth and not having any vibration whatsoever. They have 0 vibration. They could be very, very intelligent, but no vibration. And if you don't have a vibration, then you're basically dead inside. You understand that, right? If you have children, you want your children to be better than you. Your children must be better than you. Yes. And you must be better than you. Every day I work on being better and better and better and better and creating more. Yes. Creating more miracles. So I'm going to share. Solomon, the king of Judea, had a seal. It was a ring. And I had the seal of Solomon ring made for me in another country. And so I received it, and I'm sitting in the bed with my wife, and she could feel the energy. And she was talking to her sister, and she sent a picture to her sister, and her sister couldn't believe it. Just was in awe. So what I did was, I have lots of animals. So I went downstairs, and 3 of my largest animals were in front of me. And I just, not a word, I pointed the ring to them, and they all bowed their head. How do you like that? They didn't bark, they just bowed their head. So it is not the ring that's powerful, but the ring accelerates my vibrance and my vibration. Yes. I could walk down the street and point the ring at a person that's not paying attention, and they'll stare at. All my life, little kids have stared at me. When I was in the United States a lot, babies would jump out of their mom's hands into me. And the mother would go, "This is weird. Why is my child jumping out of the safety of me and going to you?" So that's because I've developed angelic powers. And so babies recognize highly vibrating things in light because they're still in the light. Yeah. And still to this day, when I walk down the street, children stare at me because they're seeing this light. Yeah. And they don't see this light often. So you want to generate this light. You want to generate this vibrance. You want to generate these miracles. You want to have abundance in every area of your life. You want to live in divine love. You want to become a wellnesser. You want to live to 101. Marianne, if you knew that you could live 101 and have great wellness and great youth, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Oh,
Yes.
I'd be busy for a long time.
Yes. So you're not supposed to get old and look old. In my center that I had for 30 years, spiritual center, I had women 103 years old that didn't look a day past 50. Now, they did not spend a lot of time in the sun. I had men that were 103 years old as well. They looked older. They looked 65, 70 years old. They didn't look 103. The women looked young in their 50s. Beautiful white skin, no wrinkles. They had lived longer than their children in many cases. Yes. So this is the big secret. You can live a long time and a great, 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 great life. My life is superfragilistic expialidocious. Do you know that saying?
I think everyone does. Yeah.
Yes. So I live a superfragilistic expialidocious life. I'm creating everything that I desire. And I want to help people get that, save their lives. I never listen to news, but I know everything that's going on in the world. And you hear about so much terrible things, people dying like crazy. Yes. You don't have to die. Yes. See, you know what the purpose of COVID was, Marianne?
I would not say that I do.
So it was part of a cleansing. Yes. A definite cleansing of humanity. And so what's happening, listeners, is God is allowing bad people to do bad things to bring balance to the universe, balance to Mother Nature. Yes. God doesn't want volcanoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, natural disasters to kill people. Yes. And it doesn't happen. In the new earth, you don't have earthquakes. Have you ever, you lived in California. You experienced earthquakes in California, right?
All the time.
Yes. Earthquakes, no fun. I've experienced hurricanes. I used to walk in 200 mile an hour winds. All my neighbors are screaming from the house. Go in the house. You're going to be killed. I never thought I was going to be killed. Yes. See, if you're truly beautiful, you can live forever. You want to be beautiful in your heart and soul. I'm beautiful in my heart and soul. So therefore, I'm beautiful. Yes. And you can create anything that you desire. So I have a program called automatealife.com. You could go to richardlondon.com. You could go to educationdigest.org. It has many of my educational sites. And you can read the information about the Q Energy Force device. It's something that people have forever. It has a battery. If the battery goes out, you just put a new battery. I have mine in front of me. It has a coil. It's in the shape of a heart. Yes. My wife wears hers every day, and she has changed 5,000%. Yeah. Imagine, listeners, changing 5,000% in your life, and quickly. Yes. Time is very important. What do you do for fun, Marianne?
I take dogs for walks and hike
Ah,
and all that. Yeah.
so I have 370 animals. How do you like that, Marianne?
Oh, you have a few.
Yes, I have dogs, cats, tigers, lions, hippopotamus, you name it, giraffes, you name it. So I've been rescuing animals for over 30 years. They're in very special private reserves around the world, and they live great lives, great food. Nobody ever bothers them, and so forth. I love dogs and cats. So my wife and I, we had 10 dogs and 4 cats. We have 4 cats. 4 of our dogs made their transition. We have 6 dogs now. Yes. If you're all alone, get yourself an animal. Animals help people live longer. Plus, animals give you divine love. They give divine love. Yeah. I have a cat. She's 18 years old. She's probably the longest living cat in Mexico. And her name is Belly. Tiny cat. She only weighs 3 or 4 kilos. She doesn't like other cats. She doesn't like other people, only my wife and I. And she's really, really on me, even at 120 some years old. But she's beautiful. She kisses my hand. She kisses my feet. For an animal to kiss your hand or feet, that's a real divine gift. Yeah. She sat on a bench in front of me working for 10 years. First 10 years of her life, she sat on a bench every day in front of me. Yes. And she knows my energy really well. So you want God to know your energy really well. And you want to be able to connect with God 24 hours a day. Really connect, creating miracles. When I go out every day and I walk, I say, God, present me everything that I'm going to need for the future. And guess what God does? It presents everything I need for the future. You know, I can walk into a store and I'm told exactly what I need to buy for future needs. So imagine walking into Home Depot and you know exactly what you need to buy for future problems. So I have what's called a bodega. So I have a place with thousands of tools and you name it for any kind of service that needs to be done on my home. Yeah. And it's all done by divine guidance. So every time anybody's come to do something in my house, they always use the things that I have in my bodega. Tools, electrical items, plumbing items, you name it. See, that's the way life should be. Life should be really easy. So from 0 to 10, how easy is your life, Marianne?
I'd say it's an 8.
Okay. You want your life to be 10. My wife's life is easy, easy. Yes. So even though I'm the leading manifestation coach in the entire world, I do dishes. I put clothes in the washer. I clean. I do these things because it's the correct thing to do. Even though we have 5 people who work in our house. How do you like that? We have people who walk our dogs, people who do the garden, people who do everything. Yeah. But I still do those things because it's the correct thing to do. You're never so big you can't wash a dish or clean a table or do your own laundry. Yes. We do lots of laundries. Yes. My wife has lots and lots of clothes. She likes clothes and shoes, and that's good. That's one of her hobbies besides animals. So I'm going to give the listeners some tips. 1, honesty, integrity. Pay everything on time. You have to have honesty, integrity at 100%. Number 2, lots of action and time in your life. If you're not putting 60 hours plus, how do you expect to reap the rewards of life? I don't have to work, and I still work 100 hours. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then if I have to get up at 2 again, I go to sleep at 3. So I give myself 11 hours to get at least 8 or 9 hours. Number 3, use positive words daily. Only positive words daily. I suggest if you're using negative words, get a recorder. Listen to a typical day of yourself. And if you're hearing lots of negative words, stop it. Use positive words. A positive words be faith is power. Faith is power. Faith is power. 4, stop the drama in your life. No drama. Drama kills you. So every time you live in drama, it's cutting your longevity. Number 5, empirical faith. You want to move to empirical faith. You want to believe 100%. I believe 100% of whatever people tell me, but it's not blind faith because I check it in the Akashic records. If it's true in the Akashic records, it means it's real. Yeah. We want things to be real. You want to live a real life that you create, not your past, your childhood creates. Before I met my wife, her unreal life was based on her experience as a child. Now she's creating miracles. It is wonderful to create a miracle. Yes. By touching someone, by looking at someone with divine love and them feeling your divine love. No matter where you are, you can express divine love. Marianne is a treasure to the world. Be a treasure to yourself. Be a treasure to your family. Be a treasure to your friends. Be a treasure to your animals. Be a treasure to the world. Yes, treasure. Be beauty. I have lots of paintings and beautiful things in my homes around the world because they are treasures. They were created by people with passion. Have passion in your life. The only way you can be more connected to spirit is your vibration. Everything in this world is really about your vibration. If you have low vibration, you can't connect. So part of the process, part of the things I do is increasing people's vibration. If you're a third dimensional person and you're vibrating at 400, the likelihood of you ever creating a miracle in your life is pretty slim. Believe it or not, Marianne, my parents never, ever created a miracle in their life, except for me having them as I was a miracle. But they didn't understand that I was a miracle because they didn't understand their own existence. So vibration. And when your vibration increases, guess what else increases? Abundance, gratitude. I'm in gratitude for everything that's happening. I'm in gratitude for being able to talk to listeners around the world and to Marianne and changing people's lives. Yes, it's wonderful to be able to change people's lives positively. I've changed millions of people's lives in this lifetime. Yes. And I'm going to change millions more. That's why. Well, I retired, but I never really wanted to retire 100%. So when I retired, I did more treasure hunting. Yes. And it's fun to treasure hunt. Yes. I have actually found things that I had in other lives. So I was so attracted to these things, I knew where I had experienced these things. And remember, we don't own anything. Nobody owns cars, houses, boats, children, or whatever. You are the master teacher of your children, and you only use these things. God allows you to use these things. So you have to be able to pass these things on to better the world. Yes. So anyone who wants to reach out to me, they can email me, richardalondon@gmail.com. Believe it or not, I don't live in a glass house, and I respond to every email. richardalondon@gmail.com. They can go to the websites, education.org, automatedlife.com. They could go to qenergyforce.com, richardlondon.com. So I'm here to help people. Marianne, you're here to help people. That's why you started the show, right?
I did. Thank you.
Yes, she did. She started this show to help people. The internet helps people. Use the internet well. Yes, and use it divinely.
Well,
Okay.
Dr. Richard London, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
My pleasure. Many blessings to everybody out in the world. You know how to get in touch with me. I am open to new clients just to help you move forward.
Well, thank you, Dr. Richard London. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you. Those looking to work with Dr. Richard London can visit his website, richardlondon.com. Be part of his community and learn more about his work. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.